Hey guys, it's Louie here from Wood Unlimited, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to use a laser cut jig that's designed for 4-inch square slate coasters. You'll be able to download this file, you'll be able to import your graphics, and then you'll be able to perfectly align a group of 4 slate coasters so you can engrave them all simultaneously. Interested? Well then stay tuned. First thing you're going to do is import your file into Lightburn. So you're going to go File, Import, and select your coaster jig. So I've got it saved right here as 4-inch square coaster jig, and you'll just import your file. Once you've imported the file, you'll see that one layer is set to red for cut, set to line mode. You'll need to adjust the settings for your laser and the materials that you're cutting. And then the other layer is set to green, and in mine it's set for fill at 300 speed and 28% power. You'll just need to adjust that, or you could delete it altogether if you so chose. Once you've done that, you're ready to set your wood in place, frame your job, and then hit start to send your job to the laser. And here's a recording of the jig being cut out by the laser. Super easy. Okay, so now we're going to import our graphics and position them properly on the coaster jig. So I'm going to go File, Import, and I've got a graphics file that I'm ready to go with right here. Okay, so when I imported this, you can see it's the same color layer as the wording at the top of the jig, the 4-inch coaster jig. So I'm going to change this to a different layer. I'm going to make it layer 00 black. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the settings on the layer for what I need for the coaster that I'm going to engrave. So in this case, I'm going to use 100 speed and 45% power for my engravings. And then I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to position my graphics on the first opening. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to center now. So select the graphics and then select the outline. Use the tool up top to align both vertically and horizontally. It is very important that you select the graphics and then select the square opening. That way the graphics align to the square and not the square to the graphics. I'm going to select my graphics only, and I'm going to hold Control and hit D to duplicate, and then drag it over to the next section. I'm going to repeat my steps of centering on the next square. So I've got my graphics selected, and then I'm going to select the square. I'm going to center both vertically and horizontally. I'm going to select the graphics and I'm going to duplicate, Control D, and I'm going to repeat that step again. So I'm now going to select the outer square and I'm going to center both vertically and horizontally. And then I'm going to duplicate the graphics one more time. And then I'm going to center both vertically and horizontally. Now all my graphics are aligned. So when I get ready to send this over to the laser, I'm going to show you how to align the jig to your laser. Some key things that you need to know is that your job origin needs to be center. So over here where it says job origin, you want to make sure you've selected the center dot. On this particular computer that I'm using is set to the top right. You want to make sure you use the center hole. The other thing that you want to make sure that you do is you go to your cut layers, and what you're going to do is you're going to choose cut selected graphics, and you're going to turn that switch on. And what that's going to do is the laser is only going to cut graphics that you have highlighted. So because we already have our jig cut out and we've just inserted our coasters, the only graphics that we're going to want to engrave are going to be the logos. So we're going to just click those 4. So I held shift and I clicked each of the 4 words or 4 logos that I have here. Alternately, what you can do is you can hold shift, and over here on the right hand bar you can click the layer that you want to select, and that will select everything that is on the 00 black layer. Either method will work just fine. Once you've done that and you've got the laser position, then you'll be ready to send your graphics to the laser. What I'll do now is just show you a preview quickly so you can see that because we have cut selected graphics on and we've only selected things in the 00 black layer, the preview will show that that is the only part that's going to engrave. Okay, so now that we've got the jig cut out, what we want to do is do our best to go ahead and get it lined up as straight as we can. And then once we've got it lined up as straight as we can, we're going to go ahead and insert our Slate coasters. We'll move them down into place. Once we've got them in place, then we're going to move the laser head using the controller to dead center. If you look at the laser jig that you've created, you've got a crosshair that's right in the center. So we want to position the red dot directly on that. Once we do that, we're going to use the left and right buttons to intersect the tiny slots that are also cut in the jig. Once we're intersecting the center of the crosshairs and the center of the slots, we move on to the y-axis and we do the same thing in the up and down direction. You want to go right through the center of the crosshairs and then right through the center of the slot. If you discover that you're off just a little bit, like we were here, then you just make a minor adjustment to your jig and then go back to your controller, left to right, or up and down in this case, and make sure you're centered, and then check your x-axis again. Over to the right, we're centered. Over to the left, we're on the crosshairs, and we're on the slot. Dead center, all the way across. So now we know we're square. Perfect. Once you're done with that, you just want to align your laser dot, your red dot, back to the center of the crosshairs. I had a bit of a tough time here doing that. But all in all, it's a pretty easy process to get your jig lined up with the bed. So now we're back out of the laser. We're dead center and we're sending the job. So I'll skip over some of the boring pieces here and I have the video sped up. You don't have to see the entire thing, but I do want you to get the idea of how this works. Alright guys, so it's that simple. Just download the file, get all your graphics lined up, make sure you've got your coasters there, get your settings right, hit send, and you'll have laser engraved coasters in no time flat. Thanks for watching.